Fantastic. Well, thank you everyone who has attended the webinar today. You've sacrificed the sunshine to be with us, so we really do appreciate it. We'll give it a couple more seconds whilst people join on, because we can see people are still joining on now. So bear with it 1 second. Okay, I think it's building up, so we'll get started. So welcome everyone, and thank you for joining us to the Rothmore Renaker webinar. We'll be here today to talk about Vista River Gardens. We're going to talk about the Manchester investment case, and we're also going to touch on Enterprise City, and obviously what a lot of people have been waiting for, the show apartment videos. See the inside fixtures and fittings, everything about it, and drill down on why to buy Renaker, and in particular Vista.
Perfect, and we can't wait to showcase our new show home and some available apartments. We'll also have a question and answer session, and we've received lots of questions in already, but do keep sending them in. In the top right hand corner of your screen you will see a speech mark with a question mark in it. That's where you go if you want to ask any questions throughout the session this evening. But next, we'll make a start by introducing ourselves. I'm Emma Lafferty, Senior Sales Manager for Renaker.
I'm Cara Quinn, Sales Consultant at Renaker.
And I'm Mike Scully, the Managing Director of Rothmore Property.
And I'm Gina Passmore, the Sales Manager at Rothmore Property.
I'm the Mortgage and Protection Advisor from Stockton Financial Services.
Emma, you're on mute. Sorry, just for that. We missed what you said there.
Just a quick poll question. We've got a few questions for you this evening, but the first one is, do you already own a property in Manchester city centre? Perfect, we've got those replies in. The majority of people don't own a property so far, so that's good stuff. Hopefully after this evening you'll feel like you've got more information and talking to the right people to help you with that decision. Okay, so let's have a look at why Manchester. So there are literally hundreds of facts and figures that we could quote. So we've literally stripped them back to the bones to outline what makes Manchester a global city recognised on the world stage. Manchester is the fastest growing city in the UK in 2025, and Ernst & Young's regional economic forecasts also predicts that Manchester's economy will outpace the UK growth between 2024 and 2027. The economy is worth over £80 billion, making us UK's second city. Manchester City Council is creating a £5 billion digital world-class economy. We're up there in the Global Livable Index as 30 out of 100 cities best places to live. The universities have joined forces to create the Greater Manchester AI Foundry. That's to help SMEs innovate and grow using cutting-edge AI research. And you can also see there some key sectors that are present in the city. So all of those key sectors that you're hearing a lot about now, they're all here in Manchester. And then also other companies in the Greater Manchester area, 80% of the FTSE 100 companies have a presence here, and you can see there some of the big brand names. As well as that, we have startups and SMEs, and you can see that there's over 10,000 digital tech businesses, and you can see some of the brand names there. And all of that is going to make us the biggest and fastest growing tech hub outside of London and the South East. You can see that we are a digital security hub, and the leader of the City Council is very much behind this. And we are now the fastest growing tech city in Europe, which is great news for businesses, jobs, and for future growth. Onto the Manchester office market. This information is from Savills, and you can see there that demand in 2024 was up 20% from 2023 figures. That made up new office blocks being completed, but also older blocks being refurbished. So demand for Grade A and prime office space is as strong as ever.
Brilliant, thank you, Emma. Yeah, on to supply and demand. So as we can see with Manchester, Manchester is growing exponentially. As Emma said, huge amounts of new companies are coming to Manchester, making it its home, with a number of SMEs as well starting up here and growing, bringing new people to the city. And we simply can't keep up with the demand of new people joining the city and growing the city as it is. As you can see, almost 100,000 people will be living in the city centre by 2026. Now, that seems a lot, but in comparison to places like London, it's tiny. But the city is growing, and we need to keep up with that amount of people joining to coming to the city and making the homes for them. There were 20 new sites started in 2024, which is below the 10-year average of the 28 sites per year, the lowest since 2014. So there is a real need for luxury living apartments such as Vista River Gardens, which is what the development's going to plug for the city.
Thanks, Max. And you can see here the Savills house price index, with the Northwest sat at the top of the table at 29.4% predicted house price growth between 2025 and 29. You can see the UK average figure in the centre of the table, giving an average of 23.4%. And then towards the at the bottom, you have London with just over 17% growth expected. And, you know, we do see more and more owner occupiers and investors choosing Manchester over London. I guess that's one of the significant factors.
And on to rental increases. Obviously, kind of going back onto the supply and demand, you can see here this is a direct correlation of that with not enough apartments for the amount of people moving to the city. So we've seen rental increase in Manchester growing exponentially. As you can see here, 12.9%, outperforming other cities in the country. And universities. So Manchester, as you may well know, has 5 of the most prestigious universities in the country, with over 116,000 students graduating each year in Manchester. And of these students, 50% of them decide to stay in the city, which is fantastic. It feeds through into the businesses and the growth of the city centre.
On to Manchester Airport. The airport had a record-breaking year last year with over 30 million flights in and out of the airport, putting it up there with some of the biggest like New York, Melbourne and Istanbul. Also this year, the transformation of Terminal 2 will be complete. Over £1.3 billion has been spent there, and we'll see 22 new shops, restaurants and bars opening this year. Then by 2030, expecting to have 50 million passengers a year, so even more significant growth. And that will contribute by 2040 around £6.3 billion a year to the local economy, which is huge. We also have the Manchester Mix, which is 60 acres of land next to the airport, which is being reimagined to create a campus really for manufacturing, technology and science sectors. And in addition, there's existing office spaces there where the Hut Group are, Amazon and DHL.
Now, you may have seen this in the news. If you're a Man United fan, you couldn't have missed it. But Manchester United are going to bring a brand spanking new stadium for the city. Now, this isn't just a football stadium. This is a huge infrastructure project which is going to completely change the landscape of the surrounding area of what is currently the stadium at the moment. So this wider regeneration will add over 7 billion per year to the UK economy, which is absolutely fantastic for Manchester and the continued growth of the city. Not only this, it's going to be the largest sports-led regeneration since the London Olympics in 2012. So if anyone saw what happened to East London when they had the Olympic Stadium, Westfield, all of that regeneration there had a huge knock-on effect for the house pricing in the area. We'd look to see a similar type of thing here in Manchester.
Fabulous. And then also in the city, we've got a huge arts, cultural and a wealth of kind of historical attractions. There's the Co-op Live Arena, which just opened last year. That can accommodate 23,000 people. That's in addition to the AO Arena with a capacity of 21,000 people. Also under construction is the Thermae Spa, which is the UK's first wellbeing resort pool, with £250 million being spent on that. In addition, you've got museums, art galleries and theatres, so there really is plenty to do with your leisure time. All of this is attracting over 119 million visitors to the city each year. It makes us the third most visited city in the UK, and we've won all kinds of accolades. You can see some of them there. Best of World Destination for Travellers, and the New York Times has voted us within their top 52 places to go in 2024. And here we've shown you some images of the city. There's the theatres, the shops, the restaurants, just to give you a flavour of what's here already. And as Max has hinted at, that is only due to continue with all this investment, growth and jobs. Equally, Manchester still is a very walkable city, and you can walk from one side to the other very easily. We're also working on this B network, which is an integrated London-style transport system. So that will combine buses, trams, rail and cycles. There's already 99 Metrolink stations within the city. We've mentioned the airport and all the great stuff that's going on there. And then there's a 2026 Trans-Pennine route. So work is going on to that route to improve regional connections to Yorkshire. That'll be ready next year. So if we can, just ask a second poll question, just very quickly. Do you know the location where Enterprise City, Vista River Gardens and Trinity Island is? So are you familiar with that location? So we can see that most people are familiar. Brilliant.
Fantastic. Well, that makes my life a lot easier. So I'll just run through a bit more about the location. As we can see from this image, Vista River Gardens sits on the edge of Enterprise City, Manchester's newest and fastest evolving district, which is a tech, media and creative hub. In the background, we can see the wonderful Manchester skyline, which is made up already of iconic Renaker buildings. So, for example, Deansgate Square, the Blade and 360. And then again on the next map, we can see where Vista River Gardens is positioned around the city. So it's slightly to the west of the city centre. And then the distances to Enterprise City are around 3-minute walk. And then to the Hilton Hotel, another iconic building, you're looking at about 9 minutes. So there's already a wide variety of businesses situated in Enterprise City. For example, we have the WPP, which has its first campus outside of London, and it's housed in the old Granada Studios. Booking.com is also situated in the state-of-the-art Brooklyn-inspired building, which is known as Manchester Goods Yard. Again, you've got restaurants in there like Phoenix and Caravan, which are very, very popular in the city. We also have fantastic lifestyle facilities in St John's and Enterprise, such as the Everyman Cinema, Barry's Boot Camp, and newly opened Lima stores. Ones to definitely look out for in the future, though, would be the first Soho House in the north, Molly's Diner, and Pitch. And then we have sort of Factory International. This is a £240 million arts and cultural centre, which opened in June 2023. It hosts the Manchester International Festival every 2 years, and we're looking forward to bringing it back again this summer. We've already seen the positive impact this edition has had on the city, with between 850 and 1 million visitors every year. There's constantly new exhibitions, concerts and multimedia performances available at Factory International, which is why it's recognised globally. In short, these aren't just nice to have, they add real lifestyle and rental appeal. Naturally, this kind of commercial brings with it a huge demand for high quality housing, especially from people looking to live close to where they work in modern lifestyle driven neighbourhoods. And obviously it's very key if you're an investor and you want to know who your tenant profile is going to be. In total, Enterprise City is expected to create up to 15,000 new jobs across the tech, creative and hospitality sectors, which is going to be drawing in a new wave of talented young professionals. This kind of inward investment is set to inject hundreds of millions into the local economy every year, making it one of the most important commercial and cultural developments in the north.
Fantastic. Thanks, Georgina. Yeah, now on to Spinningfields. Anyone that's visited Manchester, I'm sure you've been to Spinningfields. If you haven't, highly recommend it. Some of the best bars and restaurants are situated there, and it's only a short distance from Vista River Gardens. But Spinningfields is a home of 20,000 employees. It was one of the first big regenerations for the city. It's mainly a hub that holds some of the best legal, media and financial businesses, as we've got here in front of us. The problem Spinningfields has is there's only a small amount of residential units. So all of these people, there's 20,000 people working here, they need somewhere to live, and Vista River Gardens will plug that hole, or will alleviate it, so to speak. And here are some other, companies, large companies that we have here in the city centre, and you'll recognise most, if not all of them, huge names there as well.
Perfect, thanks Max. And now we're going to look at why Renaker. Renaker have our own design and build team. That means we're our own main contractor, which simplifies things and means we can build at speed. Investing with Renaker will prove to be a sound investment, and lots of people, owner-occupiers and investors, have already bought from us and have achieved significant capital growth, or investors have achieved excellent rental yields as well. We offer a 5-star service, and that's from initial inquiry throughout the buying process and beyond. So when you do move into your Renaker home, you'll have a luxury 5-star hotel feel to the apartment and to the amenities. In terms of neighbourhoods, we don't just build individual blocks, we have a whole master plan, which means we can invest in public realm space, and really think the whole thing through, making it a more desirable place to live and a better investment. On sustainability, this is considered at every stage of the development, and we look to improve on this with each new development that we build. All this means is that we are widely regarded as Manchester's leading developer, with over 8,500 homes already delivered. Okay, now it's on to our third poll question, if you don't mind, and that is, have you been into a Renaker building? Oh, keeps changing. So yes, slightly more people have than haven't, so that's good. If you've been into one of our Renaker developments already, you'll have had a feel for the kind of luxury feel that we go for and all of the amenity spaces.
So Vista River Gardens sits on a 2.2 acre plot of land with 1.6 acres of green space surrounding the building, which includes a children's play area, a dog park, and also the Trinity Gardens, which is great because you have the hustle and bustle of city living, but you also benefit from green space as well, which is really rare in a city centre. There's also 130 metres of river frontage, which you can walk across under the railway arches and straight into Enterprise City in just a few minutes. So it's really close to the city centre. Now Vista is at full height, and the second building is progressing quickly as well next door, and the build is scheduled to complete in Q4 of this year, so it's very fast approaching. We'll just go on to the amenities now. So Vista River Gardens has 4 floors of amenities just exclusive to that one building. So on the ground floor, you've got the concierge, which can help with any of your needs. But there's also a Vista River Gardens app where you can book any of the bookable suites. You can book any gym classes, or if you have any questions at all. On the ground floor, you've also got the Hortus Lounge, which is the first residence lounge area. And at the back, you've got the Herb Suite, which is the first bookable suite. On the second floor of amenities, you've got the Speakeasy Lounge, which is another residence lounge area where you've got a self-serve bar and also a card room there as well. You've also got a large games room, which has table tennis and a pool table in there. There's also the first outdoor terrace called the Fayumi Lounge and Kitchen, which is open to everyone, but you can also book this out for special occasions. And then you've also got the cinema room as well, which you can book out through the app. On the third floor, you've got the wellness deck, where you've got a climbing wall. You've also got an outdoor fitness area and shuffleboard. You've also got the second outdoor terrace called the Verdant Lounge and Kitchen, which again, this is bookable for special occasions, and the Green and Screen, which has a outdoor golf putting green, and it's also an outdoor cinema. All of this is included in the service charge, so there's no extra charge for any of the bookable suites, which is really great for all the residents living there. And then on the fourth floor, half of the building is the gym, so you've got a really, really good sized gym with all the latest techno gym and hammer strength weights equipment. You've also got a fitness and spin studio at the end, so as I said, you can book in fitness classes there. You've also got the Works, which is the co-working space for anyone that works from home sometimes, with separate work pods, which are soundproof, and meeting rooms that go off of the co-working space. You've also got the content creation area, which has a podcast studio with all the equipment in, and you've also got a separate content creation room with the green screen and lighting. You've also got the final bookable suite, which is the Trinity Suite, which has a large open plan kitchen, living and entertainment area. So again, you can book that out for any birthdays, or if you want to have any of your family and friends round. In the lower level as well, we also have a dog spa for anyone that has pets, that if they come back from a walk, they can clean the pets in the dog spa before going up to the apartment. And now we're going to show you give you a first look of the show apartment video that we've taken of the new Vista River Gardens show apartment. We've dressed it recently. So we hope you enjoyed the video of the show apartment as much as we did. We really do try and give each show apartment that we do their own personality, and we think we have done a really good job with this one. In terms of inside the apartments, they're all very spacious. So the 2 bedrooms go up to 890 square foot, so a really good size. And they're all open plan layout, so it really gives you a good flexibility of what you can do with the space. There's also floor to ceiling windows throughout in all the apartments, which really maximises light. And the purge vent doors open fully, so you've got lots of ventilation. On some sides of the building, the purge vent doors are now clear as well, so you get even more light into the apartments. You've also got the vertical dim-out blinds included. There is LED lights throughout, so it gives a really modern feel. And the flooring throughout the living areas, hallway and kitchen is a stylish diagonal laminate wood flooring, so it gives a really nice modern feel. In the kitchens, you've got the ice white slab tech surfaces with an ice white moulded sink. That's a really durable material, so you shouldn't really get any scratches on there or anything. There's bespoke kitchen cabinets with LED lights underneath. And all of the appliances are Bosch and they're all integrated. So you've got a full-size dishwasher, induction hob, integrated microwave and oven, fridge and freezer, and then you also get an integrated wine cooler as well included. In the bedrooms, you've got plush grey carpets, so it gives a really comforting feel. And in the master bedrooms, you've also got bespoke mirrored fitted wardrobes as well. And then in the bathrooms, you'll notice that all 4 walls and floor are tiled. So it's a very luxury feel. You've also got the wall-mounted WCs and wash basins, so it's very easy to clean, and again, a very sleek feel. You've got the bespoke mirrored cabinets, which has shelving inside and all of the shaving sockets, so you can keep everything nice, neat and tucked away. All of the showers and taps throughout the apartment are Hansgrohe, which is obviously very good quality. And then you've also got a steel bath with a shower screen as well. In both the ensuite and main bathroom as well, you have got heated towel rails. So now that we know what the apartments look like on the inside, we're just going to go through a few options of what is actually still available. So the first option is 2006, which is a Riverview apartment, and it's west facing. It's on the 20th floor and it's 876 square foot, so it's a really good size apartment. It's priced at 425,995, which makes it only £486 per square foot, so it's very, very good value for money.
Yeah, I agree. We actually went into this apartment last week and everyone commented on the sheer size of all the rooms throughout. The kitchen island is conveniently placed to separate both the living and the kitchen area. And what's also a really nice feature with this apartment is the cooker is actually integrated into the island so that it's more beneficial for those that want to entertain. And then in terms of the actual bathrooms in this type of apartment, for the second bathroom, you've got it opposite your second bedroom, which is great for people that want to have guests around. It can be used kind of like an ensuite, which is perfect. And then in terms of views, kind of like what Max talked about earlier, if you are interested in the regen of Old Trafford, this is the perfect view for you. You can already see the stadium in the background, as well as Media City. So you'll be able to see all the regeneration in the area to come. And then next we have 2409, which is again a huge apartment. It's northeast facing, priced at 432,995, making it £492 per square foot, which is fantastic for a 24-floor apartment.
Yeah, we also went into this one as well, and it really gives, when you walk into the living room especially, you've got the wow factor of the dual aspect windows. So all across the side of the apartment and the front, it's all windows, and on this particular side of the building, you've also got the purge vent doors, which are clear as well, so you've got even more light. The kitchen is also to one side, so some people do like that more open plan living. You've got a lot more variety on what you can do with the space. And then the view as well, out of the living area, you've got an amazing city view overlooking the Castlefield Conservation Area, so you can see all the Deansgate Towers there. And then on the side of the apartment, you're overlooking Greater Manchester. You have got to bear in mind with that side that we will have the second Trinity Island Tower there, but because of the way they've built the building, so there's a curvature and there's also 47 metres between the points of the building, which means that even though you can see the building, you've still got a clear view past it, so you're not fully obstructed, which is nice. And the next apartment is 3310. It's on the 33rd floor. It's a city view and it's east facing. Again, really good size. It's 876 square foot. And it's priced at 441,995.
So this one is a very similar layout to the first one that we went to, or that we looked at even. Again, it has two fantastic sized bedrooms. It's actually got sort of 16-foot length on the second bedroom, which means that you can fit a lot of furniture in there, and really good for two renters, so neither one is getting kind of the smaller room. And then for the master bedroom, you've got the wardrobe behind the door, which means that the total space of the bedroom can be utilised throughout. And then in terms of views for this one, this is probably one of my personal favourites. You have, like Cara mentioned before, the conservation area in front, which has a lot of Grade 2 listed buildings. So you know that the iconic skyline won't be interrupted and will remain unobstructed in the future. And then finally, we have 4106, which is situated on the 41st floor. It's again a very large apartment at 887 square foot. This property is northwest facing and it's 467,995.
Again, this is similar to the 2409 apartment, so you've got the dual aspect wow factor. It's really, the living area feels really big and you've got the windows going all across. For the view for this one, you're overlooking the river out of the living area, so you get sunset just above the river, which is really lovely in the evenings. And then on the side of the apartment, you're again looking over Greater Manchester. This specific apartment is just past where the second tower is, so you've got a completely non-obstructed view, which is great as well. And now, Georgina, if you want to go into what the rental figures are for the 2 bedrooms.
Perfect. So when considering the rental market currently on like-for-like developments, we would estimate that the 1 beds would achieve £1,500 to £1,700 per calendar month, and the 2 beds you're looking at anything from £1,800 to £2,200. Obviously, this is depending on floor and aspect. This would give an overall sort of circa 6% yield on the majority of the apartments remaining, but we can provide full breakdowns to anyone that requests one after the webinar. Fantastic. And then Kate, if you want to slide, please.
Yes, so as I mentioned, I'm Kate, so I'm a mortgage and protection advisor. So I work with Renaker in helping with arranging both residential and buy-to-let mortgages for anyone buying in the Renaker developments. So we're independent mortgage and protection brokers. We've got over 35 years experience between us, and as a broker we have access to the whole of the market. So what that means is we can make sure that we're recommending the best mortgage for you. We do specialise in new build apartments and city centre developments, and what that means is we can make sure that we're placing your mortgage with the best lender that's most likely to approve it for you to be able to get sort of proceed with the purchase on these developments. Just a bit of an update on the mortgage market as it stands at the minute. Things are definitely improving and rates are definitely getting better at the moment. So if you look at your average 2-year fixed at the minute, that's 4.75%, and your average 5-year fixed is 4.67%. That's across all loan to values. So there are lower rates than that if you're putting down higher deposits. That's just an average. Gross lending is forecast to increase by 11% this year, so we're expecting higher levels of lending and borrowing to increase. The base rate's currently at 4.5%, so that has been coming down, which you can see in the table on the right. It's projected to fall back to 3.75%, possibly 4% by the end of this year, and we're expecting another rate cut in May, which I think is next week, the next meeting. And we're also seeing improvements in affordability for both residential and buy-to-let. So with residential, you're seeing lenders offering higher levels of income multiples. So rather than 4.5, we might be able to get 5 or 5.5 times income, and lower rental income is needed to pass affordability for buy-to-let lenders as well. And just in terms of the process that in terms of us working with Renaker, so prior to you reserving a property, we would normally have a call just to sort of pre-qualify you for the apartment. We'll run through your details, your income and your outgoings, and make sure that you're in a position where you will be able to get a mortgage for that property. And we can also give you an idea on rates and quotes. We'll keep in contact with you from exchange until the point where we're ready to apply for the mortgage, which is normally about 6 months prior to the completion date. So for example, with the Vista River Gardens development, we're at the point now where we should be starting to apply for mortgages in the next few weeks. And then we'll look to get your mortgage offer in place, ready to complete with your solicitors. And things that we consider which are slightly different when looking at new build apartments. So there's different sort of things to factor in with new build. Different lenders have different requirements. Some lenders won't lend on certain height buildings, and they can restrict what loan to value or what deposit amount they will need. Different lenders have different income criteria for buy-to-let properties, which we can look at in personal and limited company names. And different lenders will also have exposure limits on developments. So what we do prior to applying for a mortgage is we'll get all of your information, speak to the lender to check that they're happy to lend on the development based on your circumstances, and give you the best idea that we can that you will be able to get a mortgage before we recommend a product to you. And then we would look to get that application and everything sorted for you to get your offer through for the property.
Okay, thanks, Kate. And I think it's fair to say that the mortgage market is constantly changing. So it's best to be in good hands and with a mortgage broker with experience in the city and with taller buildings. It can really make all the difference, and we do see that time and time again. Okay, now it's time for our question and answer session. Always a popular session, and we've had lots of questions come in both in advance and during the webinar. So we'll work through them in turn. First question for Cara, please. I have bought already at Vista River Gardens and will be going to my home country in the middle of September. Is it possible to move my furniture into the apartment in advance of completion in Q4?
So you wouldn't be able to move into the apartment and move your furniture in until you've actually completed and the keys have been handed over. It is scheduled for Q4, and Renaker have a very, very good reputation for never being late. So we do expect it to happen then. So as long as everything is you complete on time, that should be fine. But yeah, unfortunately, we've not had it confirmed yet whether it's going to be October, November, or December. And we'll keep you updated. That should be coming in the next few months or so.
Perfect, thanks Cara. And Georgina, are there any furnished options available for purchasers?
So the properties themselves don't come furnished, however we can definitely recommend companies, and after the webinar, if anybody here needs help with furniture, just reach out and we can send over the packs to you so you can finalise what you like basically, but there's a pack for every style that people could want.
And equally, if someone wanted something really bespoke to them, I guess that's an option as well with the
Absolutely, yeah, we can put you in touch with our team and they can do bespoke packages, absolutely, based on your taste.
Perfect. Kate, this one's for you. My usual mortgage broker says it can be tricky to get a mortgage in the city centre. Would you agree?
I think it can be if you don't know the city centre type of developments. If you've got a broker looking at lenders and they don't know this type of development, or they've not worked with Renaker before and they don't know which lenders have offered on the developments, it can be. That's why a lot of people work with us, because we've done a lot of applications for previous developments. So we know which lenders to approach and which lenders to avoid to make sure that we can get the mortgage approved for you and it isn't a difficult process to get that through.
Perfect, thanks. Next question for Cara. Who is the management company?
The management company is Zenith, and they manage all of the Renaker developments that we sold in the open market. So they're really good with managing all the bookable suites and bookings through the app. And yeah, it's gone very well in every development so far.
And another one for you, Cara. What is the reservation fee and the deposit structure, please?
So to reserve, it's a 3,000 reservation fee, and that holds the apartment while you work to exchange. There's then a 28-day reservation period where you would work with a solicitor to get to exchange. We do have a panel of solicitors that you can use if you'd like to. And then on exchange, you would pay now a 10% deposit, which is a recent offer that we've introduced. And then there's nothing else to pay until completion. On completion, it's the remaining 90% minus the reservation fee that's due.
Perfect, thanks Cara. And Kate, my parents want to help towards the deposit. Do I need to have saved some deposit myself, or can the whole deposit come from my parents? And what deposit do lenders need from first-time buyers generally?
Yeah, so deposit contribution from parents and family members is fine. They will just need to sign a gifted deposit letter to confirm the money's a gift and they don't expect it to be repaid, but that full deposit contribution can come from parents. Minimum deposit generally will be 10%. We've got a couple of lenders that will do that. Some lenders need higher than that, and it depends on your mortgage affordability and then your circumstances as well. But yeah, minimum 10% we'd be looking at.
Great, thanks Kate. And another one for you now. Some lenders have reduced rates recently, and I think we're seeing this a lot in the last week. Do you expect them to come down more before Vista River Gardens is ready? And with this in mind, when is the best time to put that mortgage application in?
Yeah, rates have been coming down recently, especially in the last week. We've seen quite a lot of lenders reducing rates, and at the moment it does look like that will continue. With most lenders, we do have the option that if we apply for a mortgage now and get you an offer, we can reduce your interest rate at any point up to completion. So we actually keep a check on that for you to make sure that at completion you still have the lowest rate available. So we could apply for a mortgage now and we could change your interest rate 5 or 6 times before you complete and just get you an updated offer, but it means you've at least got an offer in place to be able to complete.
Fabulous. And then a question just in, what would be a suitable deposit for a buy-to-let mortgage, Kate, to pass the stress tests? I don't know if they're two separate things or if they are tied together.
So most buy-to-let lenders need 25%. There's a couple that'll do less than that, but your rates tend to be a lot higher. So I'd say most tend to look at 25%. The stress testing that's your rental affordability. So it depends on the rent. Each case we look at, what I'll do is I'll speak to someone, take down their details, the rental income that they're expecting to get, and then check what lenders we've got and what the affordability is with them, because different lenders have different stress tests that they look at.
Okay, and I think that is really into the specifics, isn't it? So it is very specific to each apartment and the price and the rent, like you say. So
yeah, and it's dependent on individual income as well. So there's a lot of things that factor in. It's not just a set. We can't just give a set amount for like that, but generally you're looking at 25%.
Sure. I think the best thing to do is speak to a mortgage broker to run your exact situation by them. That's the best thing to do. And then Cara, question just in, what is the service charge? Is there other charges associated? Can you run through those for us?
Yes, so the service charge is £3.25 per square foot of the apartment. So for one of the two beds we've looked at, on average, that'd be around 2,600 annually, which when you look at other developments, you might just have a little concierge and gym, and you're still paying that amount, if not more. So it's really reasonable for what you get. There's also building insurance, which is 80 pence per square foot. Which is around 500, 600 per year as well. There is no ground rent either. It is leasehold 990 years, but it's peppercorn. So no ground rent, and that's everything included, apart from if you purchased a parking space. There's a £50 per annum car parking service charge, and that's all the fees included.
Thanks, Cara. And just another question on that. Will the amenities be open? Are they exclusively for residents, or can residents have guests as well? Or is there any kind of fee for visitors?
So you're more than welcome to have guests in the facilities. That's the benefit of the bookable suites, to have all your family and friends round. I suppose if you decided to bring maybe 20 or 30 people into the development, there could be some issues around that. But guests and visitors are absolutely fine, and there is no extra charge. I believe with the gyms in some of the other developments, if you want to take people into the gym, there is a guest fee for that. However, that's not been decided on that yet, but obviously that will be updated once the development's up and running.
Great, thanks, Cara. And then one that maybe Max can help with. What is driving the growth in luxury living in Manchester? Is it students? Is it international? Is it the professional market? Where's all this demand coming from?
Yeah, I saw this question come in at the start. I thought it was a really good question. So, the main thing I think that's driving the luxury living market is got to come down to the businesses, but ultimately the start of all of that is the infrastructure projects that the city is doing. I actually went to the Place by Northwest development update at the end of last year, where we heard from Manchester City Council talk about key areas of growth that they wanted to focus on. And what industry sectors that they would be looking to attract whilst doing these infrastructure projects. It was really insightful. Obviously, we've had Media City. We've just talked about Enterprise City as well. So all of these projects are attracting big businesses, which ultimately are attracting more staff to come to the city, relocating from places like London and globally to Manchester on higher paying jobs, bringing that kind of you know professional, high paying professional jobs to the city centre. And ultimately, that is driving the luxury market, because Renaker wouldn't be building all these luxury apartments if there wasn't a demand for it. And it has to go back to the start of the city doing the groundwork, bringing in the businesses, and then the businesses and the staff needing somewhere to stay. So I've actually had two questions. That was from Ken, and one other, which was what type of tenants are attracting. I hope that kind of kills two birds with one stone with that answer of the tenant profile that you should expect.
Thanks, Max. I think you've summed it up really well, and I think Manchester has a unique kind of blend with the universities, the investment and the growth, and it just kind of feeds itself really. And that it hasn't happened by accident. It's because the city council is so keen for the city to grow and has worked really hard on that.
Absolutely.
Fabulous. Next one, Kate, this is for you. I am self-employed and looking to buy at Vista River Gardens. I only have 18 months worth of accounts. Will lenders accept this?
There are some lenders that will use less than 2 years self-employed, so quite a lot of lenders do need 2 years. But yeah, we do have some lenders that will look at 1 year's proof of self-employed income. Again, that's probably another one where it's having a call to review all of your information and looking into what your options are.
Fabulous. And just one more for you, Kate. What options are there for overseas buyers? Maybe looking to purchase to rent out, but not living in the UK, or for a family member to live in. How does that work?
Yeah, we do have lenders that will offer mortgages to overseas buyers as well. So we've got that for both the rental and if family members are planning on living there. Again, probably one where different lenders have different criteria as to what country you reside in, what minimum income they have, and things like that. So another one where we'd sort of take your information and look into what your lender options are.
Great, thank you. And then we've just got time for one last question. Cara, if you wouldn't mind, I want to buy in a limited company name. Do other people do this? And do I need to have the company name before I reserve?
Yes, lots of people do this. It can be the best tax efficient way to buy a property. You would need to have this arranged before you reserve, but it is very quick, simple process. It can take just a couple of days to set up a limited company. We do work with an accountant company. They can give you advice on it and they can set it all up for you, called Property Plus. So if that is something you'd like to do, just let us know and we can refer you to that team.
Thanks, Cara. We have had a few more questions that we aren't going to be able to get to. And you know, we do have people getting quite specific into different apartments and types and layouts. So I think they're probably best dealt with on a one-to-one basis, so we can, you know, really talk through your requirements. So someone from Renaker or Rothmore team will be with you shortly in the next day or two. But now it's over to Max.
Well, yeah, thank you very much for that, Emma, and some really good questions in there. So just kind of rounding things up. I mean, I hope everyone got a lot out of the webinar there. Obviously, we've touched on a number of key points, but just kind of going into kind of a personal side of things, I'm sure there's a number of people on this webinar who are considering moving to Manchester. Like I've just touched on, there's a huge amount of people relocating to the city, or they're perhaps investors looking to buy as a buy-to-let and to capitalize on that growth of the city. I personally actually moved from London a number of years ago. Um, I bombed around a few different flats trying to find the right place for me, and I moved into a Renaker building. I moved into Deansgate Square. I fell in love with the building. I fell in love with the community. For me, moving from a new city, it was hard. I didn't have any friends up here. Was moving for Rothmore, setting up the business, and the way the community was, and the way the amenities were laid out, that was how I kind of really felt connected with the city, met the people that are my friends today in the city centre. And from an investor's point of view, I always say to all the buy-to-let investors who speak to us at Rothmore, think about the tenants. They're the ones that are footing the bill essentially. So if they're happy, they'll stay longer. They'll look after the property for longer as well. So, and ultimately, that's what you look for as an investment. So, uh, I hope that experience either makes people feel comfortable moving to Manchester and looking at Renaker and Vista River Gardens in that respect, and also for investors. But that about wraps it up. I mean, Emma's already said if you're interested in some of the last remaining units, by the looks of things on the questions, they won't be around for too long, but please get in contact with either your Renaker or Rothmore consultants who've probably already been in contact with you prior to this webinar. They will run through any questions you have and take you through the reservation process if you'd like to proceed. Thank you very much for joining us today, and we will wish you a lovely afternoon.
Very much.